Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Look It Up Podcast. I'm Chip Ulmer, and with me, as always, is my co-host and pawpaw, Tony Gudo. You can find us on YouTube under the Look It Up Podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. I forgot to say this last week, but last week was our 50th episode. We've been doing this since before last football season.
Yep.
So today is our 51st.
And football is back.
Football is back. This week, week 0 in college football. Later on today, before we out, I will give you 3 picks. If you make any wagers, you decide to try to win a little change on the games, only bet what you can afford to lose. But beginning this week, I'll give you 3 picks this weekend. Next week, I'll give you 4 picks in college. And then the following week, I'll give you 2 in college, 2 in the NFL. We'll do that all year long. Hopefully, make you a little change on the way and make myself a little change on the way. All right, so let's get started. A couple comments I wanted to make before we get started. We're going to talk about the NFL before we do anything.
Yep.
I know there's a few other hot topics. There's several hot topics today, but we'll start off with the NFL. Just a few minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, the NFL announced they will no longer have the Pro Bowl game.
They canceled it.
They're doing it. They're still going to have some type of celebration. They did increase. There'll be 88 people. 88 people will be put into the Pro Bowl every year. But they will have some type of celebration, I assume. I guess some kind of honors or something. The NFL, they'll have something.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl games were really not, people weren't watching them.
They were losing.
They kept changing them, trying to get different things. They went to flag the last couple of years, and still they worked too much. People don't really care about it.
Yeah, they were losing traction on it, so they had to get rid of it.
Yeah. In addition, Cleveland has announced Deshaun Watson
will be
the starting quarterback ahead of Sanders. And man, let me tell you what, I've been listening to NFL radio and college radio and all this the last few days, and let me tell you what, the Cleveland fans are not happy at all. They're lucky. Cleveland is lucky. The first 3 games are on the road. Or the first game. No, I think the first 3 games are on the road. You can look it up.
Let's look it up
to make sure. I think I heard today their first 3 games on the road. Now, if they can go win those games or win at least 2 out of the 3 and then come back, then he'll probably be welcome with no problem by the fans. But if they lose those games and he comes back, they'll be booing him. So he's
first
lucky.
2 games.
The first 2 games?
First 2 games are away.
So he needs to win those first 2, then they'll make the fans happy, I think. But other than that, I mean, people think Shedeur Sanders should start.
Yeah.
I think from what they're saying, in preseason it looked like he was better. But like they've been saying on the radio, and I believe the same thing. We don't see what goes on all day in practice. We don't see what goes on
in the locker room.
We don't know what the locker room. We don't know what's going on in the team facilities with the coaching, with the players. So there's a lot of things that go into it, not just the preseason games. The preseason games, what you get, 20 plays is all you get to look at. So you don't get a whole lot in preseason games. But they see a lot more than we do in the locker rooms and on the practice field. So I guess I think the thing is, too, if he doesn't make it, it's easier to go from him to Sanders than vice versa. They go from Sanders to him in the future. So we'll find out what happens. Good luck, Cleveland. Whatever. Anyway, Saints. Let's talk about the Saints and the injuries. Saints have got some serious injuries.
Nope, they are not looking good.
And they made a few changes. They made a few additions. I think they made some more today, but it may not pop up on your screen. But anyway, let's talk about the injuries.
Injuries for the Saints. Running back Ty Chandler suffered a serious knee injury against the Los Angeles Rams last weekend in the preseason game.
Put on IR. He's out.
He's out. Moliki Motavio, sorry if I mispronounced that, was placed on IR with a season-ending knee injury as well. Cornerback Rezon Wright placed on injured reserve following a season-ending hip injury. And we've already announced that Brian Bresee is out for the season after a torn ACL. Will Clapp, the center, also with a right foot Lisfranc injury.
Is he still there? I don't think is he still? Okay.
Will Clapp. He is requiring surgery for his Lisfranc.
And other than the injuries, there's a lot of Saints players nicked up. I was looking at
Alante
yesterday.
Taylor is expected to miss with a groin injury. Lorenzo Styles
Yep, the rookie.
is dealing with a calf injury, which is keeping him sidelined. Devin Neal has re-aggravated his hamstring injury from last year. Chris Olave had a brief scare after landing hard on his back, leaving practice early the other
He
day.
just got the breath knocked out of him.
Though head coach Kellen Moore indicated it may just knock the wind out of him.
Yeah.
And Alvin Kamara is still recovering from his MCL sprain that he had suffered last year.
The rookie.
Estime is recently returned to practice following his earlier ankle injury. Tight end Oscar Delp sidelined with a hamstring. Bub Means and Trey Palmer missed practice time recently, though Means has since returned in a limited capacity.
And the Saints made a trade. They
made it a trade.
Linebacker.
They traded for running back Zamir White from the 49ers. They traded away linebacker Deion Jones.
Yeah, Deion Jones is the guy from New Orleans. But they had to get a running back. Everybody's falling. They're losing running backs.
Yeah.
So you got to have a backup. And Zamir White played for the Raiders the last couple of years. He was drafted by the Raiders.
Well, now, because
But
before
they got
that,
Jenkins there now.
because no, Genty's at Vegas.
Vegas, the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the Raiders, yeah.
No, he was at San Francisco.
Yeah, well, that's where he's at now. But anyway,
Anyway,
how about the other teams? There's other injuries across the league?
other injuries. Calvin Austin was carted off from practice the other day. Torn ACL, he would be out for the season. Jamar Chase, Bengals wide receiver, sat out at practice the other day with a minor knee hyperextension, though he avoided major issues, so he should be fine. Michael Penix has sitting out the final preseason game due to his knee injury that he expected last year, but he is expected to be ready for week 1. Laramie Tunsil from the Commanders is expected to miss most or all of the regular season with a torn tricep suffered in August. And Sam Laporta, Lions tight end, dealing with a hip injury with his status for the opener is still unclear.
Yeah, man, a lot of the quarterback situations, Atlanta has not decided what they're going to do. More than likely, Tua is going to be the starting quarterback, from what I understand. Miami, who's the guy they brought from the Packers? He's starting in Miami. Who's that guy? Malik
Willis.
Malik Willis, yeah, he's starting for Miami. I mentioned Cleveland, what's going on there. And who else had quarterback issues? Minnesota's already announced that, what's his name? Kyler Murray will be starting. So they've announced that. Also, the New England Patriots made a trade. They sent Kayshon Boutte to the Texans.
Former LSU.
From LSU. For safety, Jalen Reed. They needed safety. And Texans, they didn't need another receiver to help CJ
Well, their
Stroud.
receivers are never healthy, so that's a problem.
Yeah, they've had some nicked up receivers.
Other trades around the league.
And other trades?
Other trades around the league. Kayshon Boutte, we already announced that. And Daniel Falele from the New York Giants was traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Caden Wallace was traded from the Patriots to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and then after this weekend, the preseason games are a couple of, I think maybe 3 or 4 tomorrow night, several Friday, and a few Saturday. Then it's over with. Then it's like a 2-week break for most everyone except for New England, Seattle, San Francisco, and the Rams. They play early in the first week. Everyone else plays at Sunday, which the Saints will be starting at Detroit when that season starts.
Saints play Friday this
night.
weekend.
Yeah, Channel 9 locally at Dallas. They're playing the Cowboys, so hopefully they won't fight. We'll have to figure that out, right? If they fight or not. But anyway, what else we got on the NFL? that was Coach Munkin that decided about the Sanders coach at Cleveland. By the way, he's a new coach too, so we'll see what happens. Also, let's see, I thought I saw something else I wanted to mention, but maybe not. Maybe we covered it. You'll come to me in a minute if there's something different. All right, let's move on to college football.
College football. They got games this week.
Games this week. But let's talk about what? The problems.
The problems.
CFP problem. The NCAA and the judges in all these different states making judgments, and players wanting to come back from the NFL because they have not played in the NFL.
Yep.
And the judges in the last month or two have started
to give them their 5th year.
They should get that 5th year.
Well, this is the problem. They're allowing it because the players are saying that when they were leaving the school that they were not told that they had a 5th year.
Correct.
So
they were announcing
in that instance. So then they said they thought, I have no choice but to go to the league.
Yep.
But then now they're saying, oh yeah, you should have had a 5th year. So now they're like, okay, I want to play another year in college.
And the biggest thing right now is LSU and Kiffin.
And of course,
LSU
was the first team to sign a player.
They signed. They offered an offer sheet to
Daquan Wright,
Wright,
former Ole Miss tight end.
Yeah, and that's probably why there's so much around it, because Ole Miss is complaining, but Ole Miss always complains. So
But Lane Kiffin said it on the Pat McAfee show 2 days ago, perfectly right. He was like, we were just there was other teams that are recruiting him.
Yeah,
it's just him. He decided to come to us, and then now we're getting complained at.
If he had decided to go back to Ole Miss, they wouldn't be complaining.
Exactly.
But they're complaining because
it's because they don't like LSU.
Yeah.
Now we might be feeling that way because we're biased, but Lane said he was like everybody else was recruiting him. So
well, like you said earlier,
everybody had a chance for him. It's not like just LSU was like come play.
I believe those athletes have the opportunity to go back, because they announced it too late and they could not back out. They already made the commitments to the NFL or the NBA or whichever league it was, and that didn't give them time to back out. So, and there's other players like Indiana signed 2 players that had declared for the draft.
Yeah. So it's not just LSU. It's not just LSU that's getting these players.
No. Well, they said they didn't play. Well, this guy didn't play, but like 1 or 2 players in the preseason. He didn't play hardly at all in Cleveland. So the other 2 guys that Indiana's bringing in, what? It's all right for them to do it, but it's not all right for LSU. I mean, But now the Big Ten and the SEC has come out the last day, yesterday I guess it was, and said we will not allow former players. The Big Ten said we will not allow former football players to come from the NFL back into college. The SEC announced we would not allow any players, regardless of the sport, to come back. Now, is that as of yesterday, and this Wright still gets to go with the Tigers? I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything, and there's still going to be some lawsuits coming out the next few weeks. So, and the season's starting, so it's kind of late for everything to happen at this point. But the NCAA needs to take control, put some rules in place. They need to do something to control college football. Mm-hmm. And it's not just Lane; it's across the board. Everybody's doing it. Big 12 approved it. Everything. So, also an announcement that former Florida State, Boston College, and UCF quarterback Tommy Castellanos has committed to Texas Tech. So Texas Tech has got a quarterback that evidently didn't like the guy that had before.
Sorsby, but
Sorsby could not play.
Well,
he got caught up in that too.
He's getting caught up in the gambling thing.
Yeah, he's in the gambling part.
So. But I feel the way it's like they're acting like it's not like there's these players that are having careers in the NFL and then deciding all of a sudden that, oh yeah, then I should play now.
No.
It's not like they played 3 years in the NFL and then said, you know what, maybe I want to go back to college. No, it's they were in the NFL for 6 months and then decided, and then were told
And the judges.
you have a fifth year.
Fifth year.
So then they're like, okay, the season hasn't started yet. I might as well go back.
Anyway, I'm sure we will have more on that next week.
I'm
there'll be
sure
some more
they will
updates
give
in the
us
next
more
few weeks.
info.
Because remember, week one of football starts next Thursday night with a lot of games going on. So there'll be a lot of games next week. Next week we will make our final predictions
For
in the
conferences, divisions, and who will be in the
NFL. Who
Super
we
Bowl.
think will be in the Super Bowl. And we also will talk about who we think is going to win the national championship.
Yep.
Or be in it. And who's going to win the SEC championship. We'll cover that next week in our broadcast. Next Wednesday, you can find us on YouTube, on the Look It Up podcast, or on Facebook under my name, Tony Guda. Tweaks to college football. Now, they made some changes earlier this year. Most people probably seen them and forgot about them. But this year, college football playoff, the way it's going to happen is they reiterated what's going to happen. The automatic bids will go to the champions of 4 conferences: the Big Ten, SEC, the ACC,
In the Big 12.
and the Big 12. Then the highest ranked team in the group of 6 will get a spot. That's Tulane, that's all those schools, Mid-Atlantic schools, that kind of thing. And then the group of 5 will have 1. With the Pac-12 joining that American Conference, Conference USA, Mid-American Conference, Mountain West, and the Sun Belt. And then from there, the next 7 ranked teams will fill out the bracket of 12 teams. Another tweet, a lot of people don't care for this, but anyway, Notre Dame said, the football committee announced that Notre Dame, if they finish in the top 12, they will automatically get a playoff berth. Automatically. If they finish in the top 12.
See, this is how I see it.
See, they should not
This
be.
is my problem with Notre Dame. You need to get in the conference.
But they're not going to have it happen.
That's not going to
They make
happen.
too much money.
But they need to get in the conference, and if they want to be in the playoff more often, either make sure it's a lock that you're in the playoff, or be in a conference where you can win
Yeah, I mean, if they're
enough games where it's like, okay, they're in this conference, so they should be in.
well, if they're in the top 12, then they belong. The issue is, what if they're
Because
number
that was
12?
the problem last
What if
year
they're number 12?
with them. Yeah,
And somebody's right there at 13 and 14 just as good.
that has the same record.
That's what happened last time. Last year, they got
with
knocked out.
them in
last year.
Miami, but Miami had to win.
Yep.
So
Anyway, that's what's going on in college football. It was in the paper last week. It may be again. They may post this in the paper again the next few weeks, I'm sure. But anyway, that's what's in there.
yeah,
What else we got to cover?
the games this weekend.
Games. Let's talk about the games this weekend. I'm going to give you 3 picks in a few minutes.
The big game this weekend is, well, this is the one that I guess has the most hype around for no reason.
One in Dublin.
Yeah, the one in Dublin, UNC, North Carolina. Bill Belichick in his
But
second
I don't think
year.
he's going to be there. They're talking about something going on where he's got some issue. He's not going to be there.
Huh.
What I heard.
Well, they will play TCU.
Yep.
So I don't think either one of these teams are great.
TCU's a decent team.
They're
TCU 's a
they're good, but I'm saying they're not top
Yeah.
25.
USC's hosting San Jose State. 38-point favorite, 39-point favorite.
Yep.
They should cover that.
Virginia will play NC State.
That's a pretty big game.
Jackson State will play. North Dakota State. Sacramento
And
State.
North Dakota State, this is the first year they moved in Division One. Remember, they've been winning all the championships. In
Yeah, they
Division
were
Two
winning FBS.
every year. So now they're in the big
Mm-hmm.
boy game.
Yeah. Sacramento State will go against Eastern Michigan. And at 6 p.m., Hawaii will play Stanford. And New Mexico State will play Florida State.
Yep.
And at 9 p.m.,
UNLV.
Memphis will play UNLV.
Yep. That should be a pretty good game. Is it Memphis? It says here Virginia. No, they both have
Memphis.
games. They both have games. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, that's the college football for this week, week 0. Thursday night, Division 2. There's a big game in Division 2. Number 1 against number 4. I'm not sure if it's televised. I'm sure it is somewhere. if you go across the dial and look,
Local
it'll be
pro-
somewhere.
yeah.
But anyway, my picks. Here's my picks. Now remember, if you want to make a little change, you can put a little money on these games. Don't blame me if you don't win. I'm just giving you what I'm going to do. And that's up to you to follow me or not follow me. This week, here's what I like. I like TCU minus 9.5 over North Carolina State. I think TCU is a better game, better team. That spread was 7. Now it's up to 9.5. Why? Because everybody's jumping on TCU. So the point spread is going up to give NC State, to try to get NC State people to bet on them. That's the way the spreads work. Secondly, I like Virginia minus 4 against North Carolina State. My main reason there is last year Virginia needed to win the game at the end of the year to be in the conference championship. They got upset by NC State. So this is a revenge game. So I like Virginia minus 4 at home against NC State. And my last game, I still don't think Florida State's ready. I still don't think Florida State's ready. Now, I'm not saying Florida State loses to New Mexico State, but they're giving them 31.5 points.
I don't know, because Florida State last year, they had a great win against Alabama week 1 last year. And then after that, nothing.
No. I mean, I think that they're going to beat New Mexico State. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll beat
But New Mexico State's getting 31.5, 32 points. So I would take the points, take them. That's 3 picks. TCU minus 9.5. Virginia minus 4, and New Mexico State plus 31.5, whatever you can get. Maybe you can get 32. And then next week I'll cover what happened to those games, and then we will
talk about the big games next weekend.
Yep. What else? UFC.
UFC. Last weekend we had Gregory Rodriguez versus Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez was highly ranked. Let me see. I believe he was ranked around 4. Yeah, I think he was ranked 4 in the middleweight division. And he lost to the number 11th ranked fighter in the division, Gregory Rodriguez, by decision. That was a great fight.
I didn't watch him. I missed him last week.
They went back and forth the whole night. So they went to decision, but Gregory Rodriguez came out with the win. So was that last weekend. This weekend, Umar Nurmagomedov will face Song Yadong in the bantamweight division this weekend at 5 in the morning.
Oh, morning game. Morning fight.
Early morning. So, yep, that's about it for UFC. What else do we got?
That's about it, I guess. We can talk about the NFL teams if you want. I mean, what we think is going to happen in the future. There's a lot of things going to happen, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at each division, they're all going to be tough. One channel I listen to, an NFL channel with Bruce, I don't like the guy. When they talked about every team, he talked good about the Saints. Yesterday, they made predictions. Him and the other guy, Rich Gannon, he used to play for the Raiders, was a quarterback. Both of them say the Saints will go 6-11. 6-11. I think they're wrong. Today, there were several people calling the same guy, and several people calling, one of them from Carolina, saying everybody's overlooking Carolina, they're going to be good. Well, I don't buy that, and they don't buy that. But I don't like the fact that they think the Saints are going to only be 6-11 when the other two guys,
Devin Hester and
Jim. Jim, right? Yeah. That's for them guys. Anyway, on the NFL channel,
I forgot his name.
Pat Cowan, excuse me. Both of them think the Saints are going to win at least 9 or 10 games, and they think it's going to be a fight between
Pat Kerwin.
Pat Kerwin, what did you say?
You said Cowan.
Oh, Cohen, yeah. Anyway, Pat Kerwin and Hester both think they're going to win 9 or 10 games. They both think it'll be Tampa and New Orleans fighting for the job, for the division, which we said last week. They mentioned they thought Atlanta might be better. Like, I don't see where Atlanta's improved. I don't know. Personally, I don't see it.
I think they got worse.
You go down the league, we did that. If you looked at any of our past ones, you can go back to last month and look at our podcast, and we went up with the over and unders on all the teams and the teams we thought they were going to win and lose, and we named each team. If you go through that, And we're pretty close in all those games, I think. Now, you're going to have some upsets. You're going to have things happen that you don't expect to happen. But if you win the games that they win and lose the games we thought, then I think that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to find out next week. We're going to make our final predictions next week. Probably won't be much different than what we talked about with the over and unders. But we're going to make our final predictions, and then we'll write them down. And at the end of the season, we'll see how good we were. Right?
Yep.
Anyway, my picks again. If you're going to make any wagers, only wager what you can afford to lose. TCU minus 9.5. Virginia minus 4. New Mexico State plus 31 or more points. Again, please share. Let people know we're here. Football season's starting. We start doing a lot of things with the NFL and college beginning next week. And then we start making picks every week and let people know they can make a little change with us at the same time while getting knowledge about what's going on in the NFL and college.
Yep.
Where can we find us?
YouTube. We're going to look at a podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo. Go Tigers. Go Saints.
If you can't find anything, what do?
You look it up.
Go Tigers.
Go Saints. Who dat? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.